good, good. Ikeja, how are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Calabar, how are you? Only two of you. That's then I don't think we have. Okay, Mina is there. Maiduguri. Oh, Maiduguri. How are you?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good. Good
Thank you, sir.
afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Mina, how are you? Good, 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 good. Benin City, how are you? Very good. Ibadan. Now Ibadan is back. I don't like the way your camera is placed on your legs. Well, we don't want to see your legs. We want to see your heads. Ibadan.
Yes, we are adjusting that, sir.
Please do so. Now the leg of the lady with the see.
Yes, sir, we are adjusting it.
All right. We want to appreciate everyone who has joined us. Please still adjust it a little bit up. Today is the final day for this event, and I believe you have gained one or two things. And today we're having one of our very own, and I will introduce him shortly. We are going to be telling us again some of the things we have said before. Number one, please let's make sure that we practice and take those courses that we listed for us. Number two, make sure you are registered and make sure your names are on the list. And then number three, let's make sure we use the resources at the American Spaces for all the practices we're talking about. So let me go right ahead and introduce to us the speaker for today. The speaker for today is Mayowa Daramola. He's an award-winning media professional with over 9 years of content experience in radio, television, and film. Some of the brands he has worked with include Ebony Life Films, Wazobia, Nigeria Info, Zozo Films, Sound City on TV, Correct FM, and many, many more. Mayowa is an expert in building and engaging the audience. He has recorded the highest number of listeners in an afternoon belt in metropolitan Lagos. Certified and accomplished, he has produced several notable short films, including Subsistence, Love in a Co, and My and Mami, a sickle cell advocacy project. Mayowa has worked with top production houses in Nigeria and currently serves as senior producer at the factory and creative producer at Cornet Media. Its recent projects include Turning 30, Gia 1, Owambe, Baby Farm. Please, I want us to welcome together Mayowa Daramola. Let's put our hands together for Mayowa Daramola. So Mayowa, over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if we can see me, but because I can't see myself from here.
We can't see you.
My video. You can see me.
We cannot see you.
Because I've enabled my video from here, so I don't know if it's from my end. Okay. So I don't know if you can check from your side, sir, because my video is enabled here.
It's not from this hand. Check your hand.
Let me try again.
unplug and plug again your video. So we still not have your video.
Okay,
And,
so I'm trying to change system.
All right.
I'm trying to switch to another laptop.
So while you are talking, I think, all right, so probably we can do some reviews. By show of hand, can anybody tell me whether you have, within these 6 weeks, tried to opened a YouTube channel? Raise your hand up. Not that you had it before, but because of this training, you have tried and you have opened. Yes, I can see some hands. Can you raise it again? I've seen Ikeja. Any other person? Yes, Calabar. I've seen Calabar. I want everybody to please switch on your camera, even if you are one. Please, let's do so. All right. So can any of you share your experience with us? Is this something you want to talk about? The hand in Ikeja at the back. And I saw another person from Calabar. Would you like to share your experience with us? Anybody?
Yes, we are from Ikeja.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I was able to create YouTube channel as a result of this program. Then I want to make a appeal that since we are so many, if a central database can be created so that others that are yet to get deep understanding of the project, we can help them as well. And individual, we can follow each other so that by the time we have, I think we are more than 500. By the time we have all these people, we can be able to help one another for those that are yet to read, because maybe they don't have deep understanding of how to go about it.
Thank you. How old are you, sir, before you go?
I'm about 50.
Please tell us the truth, though.
I'm about 50 years.
No, we want exact age. I want to use you as a very good example. 50 or 55?
56.
56. Thank you very much, sir. I really, really want us to clap our hands for a 56-year-old who has taken the initiative to use what he has learned from this course. Thank you very much. Please sit down. I am 60, going to 61. I created my YouTube channel after I turned 60. And sincerely, I've had wonderful experience. And I can assure you, if you follow what has been said, you also can create your own. In the next few months, I will be having like 6 to 7 channels. And I'm telling you this, there's something called, anyway, that will be an advanced level. We're still going to get to that level. How you create so many content. There are a lot of tools out there, a lot of generative AI tools, some of which have been mentioned to us. Daramola, please let us know when you're ready. Mina, I can see your hand up. What do you have to say?
All right. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me? All right. So Nishi Solomon by name. 200 level chemical engineering student at FET Mina. So basically, because of the program, I've been able to open my own YouTube channel. And then during the course of the class, I was able to get to know this copyright, privacy, and the rest. And then I was able to use it because I do tutorial videos, and then it has really helped me. So I just want to say a big one. I'm very grateful because it has moved my knowledge on YouTube, and then it's also made me understand how to monetize my YouTube page. I need to basically be authentic with my work. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Any other person? Okay. Are you ready?
All right, I'm ready, sir.
Can you play your PowerPoint? Press F5.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, sir.
Start your PowerPoint presentation. Start the slideshow, the one you wanted to click from the beginning.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to say officially welcome to the.
Did you hear what I said?
Last.
You didn't do. Sorry. Click top left. Top left. From the beginning.
Oh, right, on my slideshow. Okay.
Yes. Oh, it's not working.
It's not responding yet.
Leave it. Let's go so that it doesn't break. Let's go.
Okay.
Just maximize display.
Go ahead.
All right. Once again, thank you for joining us. And this is the last session for this training. And today is also the day we'll be giving out certifications to those who participated, right? So congratulations to all those who finished it, who took the training from the beginning to this very point. Okay, so I'll just give a brief, not intro again this time around, but I'll just explain background, right? So my journey started with media, and that was specifically radio and TV about some 9 years ago. I'm not so old, by the way, but yeah, I kind of started early. So about some 9 years ago, started out as an intern with Cool FM, and then moved on to host my own radio show with Cool FM, did Nigeria Info as well at some point. Then moved to Lagos to join Sound City, and that was when I had an afternoon radio. And at some point, the show I was hosting had the highest number of listeners in an afternoon belt. So that's why that was on the bio. And then I decided to explore film and content creation, which is what I do presently now as a creative producer. So currently, I I work with a couple of production companies, production by production, so it's not a full-time role. So production companies like Sozo Films. So if you've seen the sequel to Living in Bondage, if you've seen Rattlesnake, that was a partnership with Play Network, Sozo Films, Play Network, and Ramsey. Most recently, we did Owambe, that's coming to Netflix later on this year. And then with Ebony Life, so with Ebony Life, I've done 2 projects with them. Baby Farm, which is a series coming this year as well. And then we had a collaboration with Hollywood that was with Idris Elba. Also this year, it's called Dust to Dreams, coming out later this year as well. So basically, that has been my journey into content creation and all of that. So I also run a personal production company called The Factory, which is where I try to churn out all of my personal ideas if I'm not trying to create stuff for brands or collaborate with other people. So what I want to do today is to help us to understand how you can have an idea, so you have something in your head, and how you can make it tangible. So a lot of times, a lot of us have ideas, but then we realize that we're unable to bring these ideas to life, if you get what I mean. So you have so many ideas, childhood dreams, plans that you have, but it's almost impossible for you to achieve these things. So what I'll be sharing today is not, I wouldn't say is a standard, right? It's a combination of what works in the industry and what has worked for me personally. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, so let's just jump right into the conversation, right? So the first thing is ideating. What does ideating mean? Ideating basically is the process of coming up with an idea and then following through the idea till it becomes something tangible, something that people can see or feel, right? But in this case, since we're talking about content, it's intangible. So, like I said, a clear step-by-step process to for creating incredible ideas. But I'd like to take a question. I'll take one question from those of us here in Lekki, and I'll take a question from, let me see. I'll take a question from Mina. I'll take a response from someone here in Lekki, and I'll take a response from someone in Mina as well. And someone in, let's do someone in the East, Calabar, right? So the question is, where does idea come from? So I want you to personalize it. Where do you get your ideas from, right? So like I said, someone from Lekki, someone from Maiduguri, and someone from Calabar. So let's take someone from Lekki first. Where do you get ideas from? How do you get your ideas? Anybody? Okay. So tell us your name and how you get your ideas.
Good afternoon. My name is Damilola Ajayi.
Damilola Ajayi, all right.
Yes. So I get my
What do you
ideas-
do?
I'm a content creator.
Okay.
I newly started my YouTube in February.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So I get my ideas from what I feel people will get entertained, informed, or interested in. Anything
Okay.
that brings whatever value. It doesn't have to be academic, it can even be entertainment. Whatever I feel people should see is what goes in my
Whatever you think people should see. So your idea is formed based on people's opinion,
Yes,
basically.
what viewers want to see.
Right. Great. All right. Somebody from Maiduguri, where do you get your ideas from? As a creator, where do you get your ideas from? Someone from Maiduguri.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
My ideas at times come from while meditating. Maybe I'm alone and thinking of what to do or kind of problem people have. And while meditating on it, ideas can come from it on the solutions to do or products or an idea to come up with that can help you.
Right. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Someone from Calabar. How do you get your ideas? I'll prefer if your answer is different from what anybody has said already. That's what the person from Calabar. Yeah, actually. Or if there's anyone else that is available, if there's nobody from Calabar. Okay, Calabar. All right, let's go.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Personally, getting ideas, I prefer to brainstorm. So I think through a lot of things before I bring up my ideas.
All right.
You get me?
Brainstorming. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. All right. So from the three responses, thank you very much. You can have your seat. So from the three responses, we can say there are several ways people can get their ideas, right? So I can get my idea just by walking on the streets. I can get my idea from personal experience. I can get my idea from someone else's story, right? As we go on, I will share one idea that we're shooting next week, and it was from a conversation with a friend, right? You can get ideas from childhood experiences. You can get ideas even when you pray, right? Either as a Christian or a Muslim, right? You can get ideas from the universe, quote and unquote. You can get ideas from anything whatsoever. So what I'm trying to establish here is so that we don't think there's only one source of generating ideas, right? So you can generate your idea from anywhere, and it doesn't mean the idea is less excellent or less valuable. It doesn't mean the idea does not make sense because you didn't dream about it. Does that make sense? It doesn't mean that if God did not give you the idea, it means the idea will not blow. Does that make sense? People have gotten great ideas just by having conversations. People have gotten great ideas just by what they experienced when they were much younger. So do not limit your source of idea to anything. As creatives, I always say that it's good to be open-minded, right? Be open-minded to anything because anything can give you inspiration. Literally anything. You could see a baby crawling and it inspires you to do a podcast on how to train up your child. Just something very random can inspire a very beautiful idea. So do not limit yourself to just one source of it. However, I think I should mention this here. So there's what is called premium place, premium time, right? This is how I define it. So your premium place is, I've ever experienced a situation where whenever you're in a particular place, you keep getting ideas or you're able to create. Whenever you are maybe alone in your house or whenever you are in your office, there's one corner in your office where once you sit down there like this, you just be having ideas. Or when some people, when they're in the midst of their friends, they get a lot of ideas. They feel energized to create stuff. Some persons, it is in the middle of the night when everywhere is quiet. For some persons, it's early in the morning, right? So as creatives, the first thing is to know your premium time and your premium place. So know that time of the day that your brain is more ready to create stuff. Your brain is like at alert to generate ideas, to create stuff. You're more ready, right, to churn out your ideas. So that's your premium time. Premium place is that particular space where whenever you're in that place like this, ideas just keep coming to your head. So as creatives, it's important that you know those things. You have to take time to identify. Some persons have premium people. So a premium person is that your best friend that once you have an idea and you share with that person, the idea it makes sense. The idea comes to life. That's your premium person, right? So like I said, premium place, premium time, premium persons. As a creative, it's good to identify what that thing is. It helps you to be more efficient. So for example, if I know that I'm more creative in my house, I can use the rest of the day to rest or do other things. And I'm just waiting to get into my house and I just lock the door. I don't have friends and I just take 2-3 hours and I use it to create rather than spending the whole day and just going about wasting my time. Because you know that once I take two hours in my house, I will be more productive. So it's always advisable as a creative to know what works for you. Some persons, they might have to eat something. I don't say drink something, but yeah, it doesn't even have to be alcohol. Sometimes it's just sugar. Some persons need sugar for their brain to pump, right? So just know what works for you. That's just what I'm saying. Next slide is elements of a good idea. So now we're getting into the conversation properly. Elements of a good idea. So one of the first elements of a good idea is originality. Your idea has to be original, right? Now, originality does not mean that you did not pick inspiration from somewhere, right? Originality means that as much as I'm picking from this person, I am personalizing it. For example, Macaroni is not the first person that started skits. Someone else started it. but he has personalized skit making to suit himself in his own style, in his own brand. So you can say his skits are original, but he didn't start skit making, right? Somebody started Facebook. A few years later, someone else started another app. It's possible the person who started maybe what other app is similar to Facebook, maybe WhatsApp, was inspired by Facebook, right? But he has been able to personalize his idea and make it original. So the first thing is always find a way to make your ideas original. Make your ideas different from what someone else has done. So it's okay to pick inspiration from someone else, but what stands you out, right? What is the one thing the person is not doing that you can do and add to your own and make it original? Say, for example, I like to wear two-piece, right? And I decide, okay, I want to go into cloth making, but everybody is doing two-piece. How can I make my two-piece original? I decide to start making two-piece adire, right? I've been inspired by something else, but I've made it original to myself. So if somebody should ask me, oh, everybody is making clothes, what makes your own different? I have a friend who, she runs an NGO and she runs a fashion outfit. So what she does is when you buy a dress from her, a certain percentage from that money goes to train a child. Do you see? So I may not want to buy a dress, but I want to train a child. I will now say, okay, instead of just going to any shop to just buy any dress, let me buy from this person that is going to a course. Do you get? People don't trust NGO. I can say, oh, I don't want to put my money in an NGO. But now the NGO is saying, okay, just buy a dress. Don't even support the NGO. Just buy a dress. But your money is going to train up a child. So you see how she has picked a very common idea, but she has made it original. That's just all I'm saying about originality. It doesn't mean that you're the only one who is doing it, but there has to be an element of difference. There has to be an element of difference, even if it is in excellence, how you execute it. But there always has to be an element of difference. Part of the reasons why people don't like Nigerian movies is because people feel like we copy a lot of foreign movies because it's not different. But if you see recently, we've been doing a lot of jargon, we've been doing a lot of indigenous stories, and those stories, at least I can tell you for a fact, are like our biggest streamed movies in Nigeria, right? So there has to be that element of originality in your content. Second thing is entertainment value. So entertainment value is why should I watch your content, right? 90% of the time, the reason people create content is to entertain somebody, right? Now, don't think of entertainment as something that must make you laugh. Entertainment is not anything, it's not just things that make you laugh. Entertainment is also something that makes you relax, right? Entertainment is also a form of knowledge. You get me now? What we're doing here now is a form of entertainment, but then we're impacting knowledge, right? So what is the entertainment value in your content? What is the entertainment value in whatever it is you're trying to create? How is it going to entertain the person who is listening to it? Is it for knowledge purpose? Is it to make the person laugh? Is it to invoke a certain emotion? That's also that's the value, that's the entertainment value of that content, right? So you need to figure out what is the entertainment value of whatever content you're creating. Third thing is commercial viability. How commercial is my content? So this means that because a lot of times as creatives, we feel like we are creating because we are passionate. And where the problem is that if you do not have another source of income, you will not be able to continue with this thing you claim you're passionate about, except this thing begins to pay you money. So to save yourself the stress of doing only 6 episodes, and then you now realize, oh, I have to go and look for money. Find a way to make this thing you're doing commercial. So how can you make money? Later on in the slides, I think I'm going to speak about how you can make money from your content. Not all the ways, but the ways that I know of, right? So what is the commercial value of your content? How can you commercialize this content? There are so many ways I can explain it. Let me use a script, for example. I think I'm still going to speak about this later on in the session, but I'll just mention it here because it's coming to mind. let me use a script for example. So many of us saw Gangs of Lagos, Brotherhood rather, Brotherhood. So if you watched Brotherhood that had Fowles and his brother, the big brother guy, Toby Bakari. Now there was a scene in that movie where when Toby opened the fridge, there was a drink. That was an advert, right? That was an ad placement. But you as the viewer would never know that they've collected money from that brand. So when you're creating your content, right from when you're creating the scripts of your content, look for where you can put a brand in it. Right? We'll take questions, just write it down. We'll take questions, just write it down. I can give you another movie again. If you saw Big Love, so I don't know if those of us outside Lagos see a lot of movies. What other content can I use to describe? Let's still use movies for now. So if you saw Big Love, it was a movie by Biodun Steven. It had Timini and Bimbo Ademoye. Now that movie, it was about Bimbo and Timini meeting in a bank training. The bank training was, I think, Sterling Bank. I can tell you for free that Sterling Bank has dropped money for that movie. Right? But it's not when we get to set, when we want to shoot, that we'll not say, let's shoot it inside Sterling Bank property so they'll give us money. No, it's when we're writing the script, already decided that let's do a training inside a bank so that we'll look for a bank that will sponsor it. So thinking about the commercial value of your content is from when you are generating the idea, not when you're shooting it. I'll still explain more about it. The next point is ease of communication. I hope I'm still... All right. The next point is ease of communication. So ease of communication is what language do your target audience understand, right? If I'm in Lagos, Nigeria now, and I'm shooting a content for Lagosians, and I'm speaking Swahili, people in Lagos or my target audience will never understand my content, right? So you have to be able to communicate in a way where the people you're speaking to would understand. Okay, let me make it more practical. If you're shooting a content for Gen Z, for the younger generation, and you're not putting in Gen Z slangs, you can't attract them. You have to speak their language, right? You have to say is demure, is cute, is right. You have to put in all of those elements in your content. That is why they will feel like, okay, this is for me. So you have to communicate to them in their language. That's just what that means. The next point is explorability. So explorability is, you see, as content creation, the mistake we make is to create a content for just one platform. As content creators, the mistake we make is to create a content for just one platform. However, you can, in the process, in the point of ideation, you can create a content that you can use for multiple platforms. How do I explain this? So for example, I'm shooting a content and I want it to go on YouTube. However, I know that when I'm editing this content, I can edit it for TikTok because TikTok is going to pay me more than YouTube. Right? So from when you're shooting, you already know that this content should go both on TikTok and on YouTube. Not when you're done shooting and then you now have problem with the framing rates because it's not, TikTok is like this, YouTube is like this. So from when you're shooting, you should already factor in those things. Another example I can give is, okay, perfect. Look at Living in Bondage, right? I can mention that because I sort of like know the people who worked on it and I work with them as well. So the old Living in Bondage that was done maybe 1993 or 1992, that's the one we knew. But then in 2007, there was a sequel, right? Now, the sequel that was made in 2007, if you saw that movie, there are scenes in that movie where, so you saw that they created, let me put it this way, they created The Sixth. If you remember the movie, they created a cult group called The Sixth. So it means that in future, if they want to do part 2 of that new Living in Bondage, they can use that name, The Sixth, and continue. They can create, like Marvel, right? They've created one brand, one character, Batman, right? They've created another one, but they can explore all of them to bring all of them together and make a bigger one. how do I explain this again? It's just the same way you see a movie that has part two. Anikulapo, for example, when Anikulapo was first written, there was no plan for a part two, right? There was no plan for a part two. That was why when Netflix said, oh, the movie did so well, let's bring a part two, they had to continue. But if there was no room for continuity, that would have been the end of the story. So as you're creating, you should create in such a way that if there is need for me to continue doing this thing or explore this thing, it's possible. If you're creating a content now and you're not creating it in another language, you're doing yourself a disservice. So for example, my content is in English, but with AI, I can create it in French. So it means somebody in France can enjoy my content, can buy my content, and I'm making money off it. That's still exploration of the very same content that I have created. I don't even need to create a different content entirely. All right, let's go on. So now, the 5 M's of ideating, right? The first thing is your motive. Motive is why. Why are you doing it, right? The second thing is manuscripts. We've talked about the scripts. Third one is money. I'll just run through them because I have slides for each of them. The next one is management, and then your market. So let's go to motive. What's the why? Why do you want to be a content creator? Why do you want to shoot this movie? Why do you want to shoot this content? Why do you want to shoot this podcast? There are three major reasons why there are three major motives why people will create any content. The first reason is for profit, because you want to make money. The second reason is for recognition or fame. You want people to know you as the baddest skit maker, as the baddest content creator. You want people to know you as the producer of the year, the director of the year. That's another reason why people create content. The third reason is for impact, passion. I just want to tell a sickle cell story. We did a sickle cell story last year. I want to tell a story about sickle cell, right? So it's either you want to make money, you want recognition, or you're doing it for passion. However, you can combine all three, right? There are projects you can do where you can make money, you can gain recognition. People will know you that you're the one that did this thing, and then you can also make impact. So you can combine all three in whatever content you're creating. The whole idea of what I'm trying to do is to make you understand that from the process of when you're generating your idea, you can think of all these things already. Think of how this project is going to make you money. Think of how this project is going to make impact. Think of what kind of recognition this project is going to give to you, right? Next slide is market, right? What is your target audience? Who are the people you're targeting? So you don't just create content for, oh, anybody that sees it will enjoy it. You have to have somebody in mind. So even if the person you have in mind, they are not the only people that will see your content, other people will get to see your content. But the fact that you created it with somebody in mind, then there's a direction. For example, if you listen to Johnny Drill's music or Asha's music, their music is not for everybody. Their music was for a certain audience. However, they've done that music, she has done that music for that audience so well that people who don't naturally like her kind of music will now listen to her music. Do you get what I mean? So, for example, Ashake speaks Yoruba in all his songs. He did not create those songs for the French. He's creating his music for the Nigerian audience, people that understand Yoruba. But guess what? Because of how popular that song has become, that brand has become now, people who don't even understand Yoruba are now vibing to the song. So you have to have a target audience in mind when you're creating your content, right? Like I said, the idea or content is nothing without an audience. You can't just create a content and just put it out there. There has to be somebody in mind. So I created a content last year. It was called Turning 30. So the idea of the content was for people who are turning 30. There's a target. You're 27, 28, 29, you're turning 30. What are some of the challenges? Pressure about marriage, pressure about what to do with your career, pressure about purpose, pressure about should you jackpot, should you stay in Nigeria? That's what the content was about. There was a target audience. But guess what? People who are 20 can still relate. People who are 40 can still relate because they would always find something, maybe a mistake I made when I was 30, or no, I'm turning 30 in next 10 years. I don't want to make these mistakes. But the content was originally created for people who are turning 30. Do you get what I mean now? All right. And then your distribution. Your target audience determines how you distribute your content, right? For example, if you create a content for Gen Z, Where should you put it? TikTok. It's a no-brainer. That's where all Gen Zs are. So if you're creating the content for the younger generation, Gen Zs and Gen Alpha, and you're putting it on YouTube, there's a higher tendency that you've already caught half of your audience, because half of Gen Zs are not on YouTube. It's majorly people who are 30s that will watch YouTube films. Gen Zs now are looking for short form content, 1 minute, 2 minutes. That's TikTok. That's Instagram. So sometimes your content determines your audience, determines your content, and your content determines your audience, and in turn determines where you put them on your distribution plan. All right. Now, money. Money is very important. Whether you like it or not, there is no production you want to do now you will not spend money. Even if it's 1,000 naira, you will spend money. So for every time you want to shoot, you want to create a content, always have a budget, right? Even if you already have your phone, you already have your camera, you already have everything, have a budget for your Instagram sponsored post, right? Have a budget for the littlest thing that you have to do, the battery you have to buy. Have a budget for those things. It will help you to know how much you spend. And when you start making money, you know that you're growing, right? So I said here that do not take a loan to shoot. So for people who want to do big projects, sometimes because of how big your vision is, you want to raise 100 million. You know that this idea, it will blow. You showed it to your family and friends and they told you that, guy, this is the miracle idea we've been waiting for. And then you don't have the money and then you decide to go to a bank to take a loan. You're making a huge mistake. So as creatives, never take a loan to shoot any content. The best you can do is find someone to invest in it. So what the person who is investing in it does is the person understands that if this content fails, I'm losing money. If this content succeeds, I am making money. So both of you are in it together. So it's not a case of whether the content fails or succeed, you will give me back my money. No. And with interest, no. Don't do that for a content because you can never be so sure. It's just like music. A Maven Records will spend 100 million on one artist. The artist may not blow, right? One artist on the streets, a Charlie Poppy, will just drop one single and then everybody will enjoy it. So there's no yardstick to know which content will blow. That's just what I'm saying. You can put in all the right indices and be sure that this content is good, right? But then you cannot predict how people will accept it. So for that reason, try not to take a loan to shoot a content, right? Now, I said quantify the intangibles. So for example, you're shooting a project and let's say you're shooting a content, you want to create a content about your life, for example. Let's say you're somebody who were abused when you were 9 years old, you didn't live with your parents, and now your story is so inspiring, you shot it into a movie or you've made it into a podcast, and now somebody wants to buy it. Follow me. Now somebody wants to buy that content that you have done. Now it costs you 1 million naira to shoot the content, maybe to pay the cameraman, the scripts writer, everything. It costs you 1 million naira to do it. Somebody is coming to buy it now, and the person is pricing you 1.5 million. That's unfair. Because how much do they want to pay for those experiences you had that made the story? So the fact that this story is big because they were my personal experience does not make my experience less tangible. I have to monetize my experience. So this my experience, I can say is worth 50 million naira because of all I went through. It is my personal story. That's the reason this content is making sense, because it is my personal story. If I tell you this content is worth 50 million naira, yes, it's worth 50 million naira. I may not have spent 50 million naira to create it, but the experience I went through to be able to birth this thing, that's how much it's worth. So most times as creatives, because you did not spend money, you don't think it's valuable. Maybe your uncle gave you his car. Then when you're now drawing up how much you spent, you don't include how much it would have cost you to hire that car. That's money as well. The fact that you got it for free doesn't mean you shouldn't value it. Doesn't mean you shouldn't monetize it in that sense of it. So for example, I want to do a shoot. I want to do a documentary about Lagos State. And Lagos State government is giving me permission to do the documentary. On a normal day, I know that permission will cost me 10 to 20 million naira. But because Lagos State government has given it to me for free, does that now mean that the project is less expensive? No, the quality of the project is still the same. The fact that I got it for free or I got somebody, maybe your cameraman say, okay, don't worry, let's just collaborate, don't pay me. It doesn't mean that I didn't spend money in creating the project. How much should I have paid that cameraman? That's the value of the project. The scriptwriter wrote the script for you for free. How much should you have paid the scriptwriter? That's the value of the project. So that's why I said that there's no project that you can do with zero money. Somebody dashed you a camera to be shooting. How much should you have bought that camera? That's the value of the project. So you realize that for those of us who have gone ahead to create certain content, you might have shot a content worth ₦1 million and you don't even know because you didn't spend money. So when somebody now says, oh, this is your content, how much is it, what I want to buy it? You say, just give me 50K because you didn't spend money. But that's not the value of the project. The value of the project is all the things that went into it, whether you paid for it or not. Right. I said here, get for free, borrow, steal before buying. So this is a production mentality. It's always advised to save money when you want to create a content. If you want to create a content and you need something, first of all, find a way to get it for free. And truth be told, you are 5 persons away from what you need. So I need a power bank and I can't access it. By the time I call her, call him, he will call somebody, he will call. By the time we call 5 different people, we will know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that can give me a power bank. So before you start spending money, make sure that you try to get it for free. Okay, so worst case, you cannot get it for free. Borrow it. Right? Okay, the person says, oh, no, I can't borrow you. Collaborate. Okay, give me this thing. And when this thing make money, I will give you 5%. Right? Now, when we say steal, it doesn't mean you should go and hijack somebody's property. But for example, stealing here means there are ways you can use content that it doesn't affect the person's IP, intellectual property. So for example, I can want to use a song in a project, but I don't have access to that song. I can do a cover of the song and use it. Right? I've done my own version of the same song, and now I'm using it. So you're picking from the person's own idea to do yours, right? Before you now decide that, okay, I want to go and spend 1 million naira to buy this thing. That's just what this means. Management. So this means that a lot of times you want to shoot content, but you don't know how to handle a camera. Don't force yourself to handle the camera if you don't know how to handle the camera. Get somebody who is good at handling camera to handle your camera for you. You want to shoot a content, you're not a good editor. Get somebody who is a good editor to edit for you. That's what I mean when I say staff your weakness. So editing is a weakness. You don't know how to do it. Get somebody to do it. It's not all the time you have to pay. Collaborate with the person. Tell the person, this content, I'll put it on YouTube. If I put it on YouTube and it makes 100,000 naira, I give you 5%. I give you 10%. You just come and handle the camera. And I said here that don't forget that the person holding the camera owns the content. Yes, it's a law. The person that's holding the camera is the one. So if we are here in the class now and I bring out my phone and I'm recording you, who is the owner of the content? It's me. Let me record that. Yes. So that's why you have to sign an agreement. Yeah. So you have to sign an agreement because the person holding the camera is the owner of the content. Now, I say here also, get your team to believe in the vision rather than for the money. So the reason is you've been on some project before. We're shooting a film some time ago where the lead actor did not show up. Sorry, guys. I hope I didn't log out at some points. Have we been following? Just give me a thumbs up. All right. So the lead actor did not come to set for like 2 days. So that means that we have to pay crew members for another 2 days. But because the crew members sort of like understood that this thing is not the producer's fault, it's not the director's fault, they were like, no worry, we go run now. Right? So when you have people who believe in the project you're doing, it's easier for you to reduce your risk, for you to reduce losses. So don't just get people that all they want is money. Look for people that when you share the idea with them, they can believe in the idea and they can say, okay, great, we believe in this thing you're saying. Let's do it together. People that even when the content is out, they'll be the one to post it, even before you tell them to post it. So that's very key. I think we're almost at the end of it. Manuscripts. Now, this is very important. Create characters that are memorable. So, for example, Aki and Popo, those are the most memorable characters in Nigerian Nollywood. The most memorable characters in Nigerian Nollywood. Jennifer, that's a very memorable character. Wherever you see, sorry? Do you get in that sacrifice? Can I? Whenever you see those people, you will drop money because they've built a character that people can relate to, people like. Develop punchlines, catchphrases. What's this one that this guy says? Macaroni. Macaroni always says something in his videos. Freaky freaky. That's Macaroni. That's a catchphrase. Which other person? MC Lively will always come and say, money, no. That's a catchphrase. Not Lai, what's this guy's name? What's Lasisi? Lasisi will come and say, something just happened right now. That's a catchphrase. Right? So find a way to create a catchphrase. When Fowles started, the artist, he started with creating a catchphrase, a style of how he speaks. It became a brand before we knew it. Now he has moved away from that because he now has everybody's attention. He's now a serious guy. The character Fowles created when he started was somebody that wears glasses without the glass. And people liked it. So always find a way. When Disney started, he was tying towel. Create a character that people can relate to. Create a character that is memorable. Develop a punchlines. Create a world that organically needs brands. So what this means is, I've given this. So this is what I was speaking about when I said, when you're writing your scripts, right? Find a way to infuse brands that can put money when you're creating your content, right? You can make your character somebody that drinks malt, is addicted to malt. So that when you are ready to shoot, you can tell Moss that I have this project too, and the person, the lead character, if he has not drank malt in one day, you cannot do anything. So before you know it, every time they see that character, they see malt. Every time, because it's always holding malt. That's advert for them. Do you see now? All right. Profiting from your idea, funding, commercializing, collaborating, and I said think big, start more. So now, first of all, funding your ideas. There's several ways you can fund your ideas. But the first thing, in fact, I always advise creatives, try not to use your own money. To be very honest, try not to use your own money. So there's a formula for it. Try to make sure that you combine your money and the money of other people. Right? So the first thing is try family and friends. I want to shoot a content 1 million naira. Which 20 people do I know that can give me 50,000 naira? Create a WhatsApp group. Put all of them. Share your idea with them. So this is the idea I have. I want to shoot this thing. If I create this content, I put it on YouTube. If it has 500,000 views, YouTube will pay me 6 million naira. What I need from you people, just give me 20,000 naira. Invest in this idea. When this idea peaks, by the grace of God, if it peaks, I will give you 30,000 naira. If it doesn't peak, take your 20,000 naira as a donation. It's easier for me to let go of 20,000 naira than for me to let go of 1 million naira. Do you see now? So rather than going to look for one person that will give you 1 million naira, look for 20 of your friends that will dash you 10,000 naira, that will dash you 20,000 naira. It may not be a lump sum to them, but for you, that little small money comes together to make your huge money, right? So that's one way you can get funding. Another way you can get funding is like what I've mentioned. You are writing a script, you've put the brand there. You've not even shot the project though. Now you go and meet them and say, I have this project though, and you show them your pitch deck. They can decide to sponsor the project. That's another way to get funding. Not that you just have one idea and you're going to look for anybody that likes it. No. I have to see how my business is going to benefit from your idea before I put money on it. So from the process of creating your idea, that business you have in mind, put them in it. There are some things I can't share because they are ideas. Before tomorrow, I'll go and see the idea outside now. But imagine that you're creating a character, right? You want to shoot something and the character is somebody that runs a POS business. What does that mean? You already have banks as your sponsor. Already. So it's not for you to figure out which bank do you have connection with that is interested in this type of content. Which bank is doing promotion currently? Do you see now? I want to create a content, and my lead character is somebody that it could be that. It could be anything. Dig it. Yeah. So one day before you know, Titus will call her that she should come and be.
Because you always see cartoons of Titus.
It's intentional.
Brand, there's one particular brand.
It's intentional. They probably are giving her money for it, but she will never mention it to you. Do you get? So the point is, when you're starting to create that content, have these things in mind when you're creating that content. It will shock you, and it may not be the big brand. Okay, for example, I'm creating a content, and my lead character is always misplacing his phone. And I have an uncle that is selling phone. He runs a gadget store. I'll just tell my uncle, say, come and sponsor this content. Just bring 200K. Don't even bring plenty more. Just bring 200K. But I know that every time my character misplaces his phone, he will go to my uncle's shop to go and buy a new phone in the project, in the content. That way I'm giving my uncle publicity. And to somebody who is watching it, they may not even know what's going on. Do you see now? So you have to find a way to weave this thing into while you're creating your story, while you're generating the idea. And finally, I said, think big, start small. For a lot of us as creatives, we have very big ideas, very big idea. One of the elements of a great idea is that it has a small version. I have a project I want to do this year. Is going to 100 million. I don't have 100 million, but I can shoot that same content with 1 million, and I'll go and show the sponsor that, see this thing, this is what I want to create. This is the pilot episode. Give me 100 million and let's create this thing. That's how it works. If you keep waiting till when you have the 100 million, someone else will shoot it, because you're not the only one who's receiving that idea. Let's be honest. So while you're waiting, your big dreams must have a smaller version. Find a smaller way to create that same content you want to create. That same big thing you want to create. There has to. If there's no smaller way, then you haven't figured out that idea yet. There has to be a smaller way you must create that thing. Think of any idea you want to mention now. I'll tell you a smaller way you can create that same content. For example, we want to do a shoot about an Uber driver in Lagos, right? And we're saying we want to use Brother Shaggy, for example. Shaggy is probably going to charge me 10 million naira to do a series of that kind. But now I don't have access to Brother Shaggy. I don't have his money yet. But I have a small car. I have a friend that is a comedian. Right? I will call him and say, guy, let's shoot this content. He will shoot it. Then I'll now carry that same content that I did not spend money on with my car, my friend that is a comedian, and go and show it to a brand and say, see this content though. But the main character is Brother Shaggy. Do you understand? So they can already see what you're saying. Most persons that will give you money will not give you money based on paperwork, because everybody's a bit talk. But show me what you want to do, I will give you the money. Show me what the vision is, I will give you the money. So don't wait until you can create the whole vision. Create a smaller version of it. You want to shoot, I want to shoot a podcast next week. I shot the trailer 2 months ago. I haven't shot the podcast yet. I went ahead to shoot the trailer, sent the trailer out to a few persons. So instead of me spending maybe 1 million naira, 2 million naira to hire equipment, do everything to shoot the whole podcast, and then people will not like it, I already just did the trailer and then sent it out and got feedback. And I know, okay, this is why you say, I know, I don't like the way this person, I've already taken that feedback and I'm putting it into the content. I am not losing anything. So your big idea must have a smaller version. Always start with a smaller version of your big ideas. Thank you very much, guys. So I guess we can take questions now for the next few minutes.
Thank you very much, Mayowa. I like that aspect that you said once they donate and you can just take their donation If you cannot return the money, just take it. I like that aspect. You did not even offer to give them back. All right. We like to take questions. If you have questions from any of our spaces, you can raise your virtual hand. You can also chat your questions. Thank you very much, Mayowa. That was
Thank you.
an insightful session. Questions?
Somebody had a question. You had a
Okay,
question
in
earlier.
Lekki. In Lekki.
Do you still have your question? It has been answered. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, someone has a question here.
Can see Oshobo.
Just 1 second. 1 second,
Okay.
man. Okay.
Okay.
You
Lekki.
mentioned the grants.
Grants.
Like now
Yes.
with that new upcomers, we want to be using, let's say, mods. And I've heard that you're not supposed to be exposing, armed proxies like that without you talking to them or, So how do we go about it?
So, so her question is branding, right? So you want to use a brand like Malt for your content, and people have said it's not good to use brands like that for your content if you haven't spoken to them. First of all, I want to say there's nothing like that. I can tell you for free. There's no brand that will come and arrest you that you're using their content in their brand, except you use the brand in a bad way. So if you go and use mods and you give mods to an armed robber, the character is an armed robber, they will come for you. They'll tell you our brand is not for armed robbers, right? So to play safe, use the brand in a good way. Nobody hates publicity. The moment you're using the brand for an armed robber, it's a bad publicity. But use it in a good way as a good publicity. There is no brand that will come for you for that. Now, let me give you a trick. There are a lot of influencers right? That when you watch their content, you see a brand. That brand has not paid them. 80% of the time, that brand has not paid them. What they are doing is to show other brands, and maybe the brand they are using to say, it's possible, though, I can be using your brand to do this thing. I'll give you a perfect example. Tea with Stay. What's his name? Temisan. When Temisan started, there was a content he was doing on Instagram where he would be sipping tea. If you remember, when he started on Instagram, he would be sipping tea. Years later, Smirnoff got into that thing and he started sipping Smirnoff. After a while, he started sipping tea. What he was doing in the beginning was to show a brand that I can be sipping your product while I'm doing this content. When we are shooting content and we remove the label on products, it's just so that another product will not come and see it and think that these people have dropped money. So that's why you remove it. So that someone else can see and say, oh, this is a brand placement opportunity. I can just put my drink on this table like this. So that's why. So just use it in a good way. Nobody will come for you.
Thank you. So let's go to Oshogbo. Oshogbo, please unmute and ask your question.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the very impactful session, sir. Please, I have a question regarding content creation. We have a small outfit here called Media Boys, and we do everything by ourselves because of funding, like you said. And you spoke about settings of camera, especially like if you're shooting a short film for YouTube. Mention something about knowing how to set your camera if you want to have some clips for Instagram and TikTok. I've been having that challenge. Sometimes I upload on TikTok and it's looking funny, and I upload on Instagram and it's having a different look. So I wanted to ask, do I change the settings while I shoot, even though I'm shooting for YouTube, or can we achieve it at post-production? Please guide us.
So I think if the combination is YouTube and TikTok, it can be achieved in post-production. right? Because the frame rates are different. However, the editor can zoom in to achieve the frame rates for TikTok. Do you understand? So if you're shooting, I think you should shoot originally for YouTube to be safe, and then have an editor that knows the frame rate for TikTok, and the person can edit for TikTok. So the way you edit for TikTok is different from the way you edit for YouTube. That's just the difference. The editor just has to know that this one is going for TikTok, this one is going for YouTube. The frame rate is different. That's just what it is. So if the editor can know that, can know the difference, get an editor that knows the different frame rates for TikTok and for YouTube. Because really, are you aware that TikTok pays more than YouTube? Yes, TikTok pays more than YouTube. However, cheats is they don't pay Nigerian accounts. So I did not tell you, but you can look for a friend in abroad, Canada or UK, that can open the accounts for you, send you the login, and you're using it here. But you have to trust that friend, because when they monetize the channel, the person will have to use the account, collect the money, and then give it back to you. Thank you.
So thank you. We go to Makodi. Unmute and ask your question, please.
You're still muted, Makodi.
Sometimes 2024, 2025. So for the dates, how do you make sure it's the same? Copy one by one. It's not bad for you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You can hear me, right? Okay.
Very well.
My name is Ideating Daniel. I followed the program for the 6th now. In the previous program, the former coordinator, the moderator of the program, there was a link he sent. I tried it online and it didn't direct me to what I needed. Unlike the link is BITLY/MOOC list 2024. So I don't know, maybe I didn't get it correctly. It's possible you can resend the link. So I'll try it.
Was it the lawyer?
So the moderator before now, like previous moderator, the man.
Oh, that's Mr. Sam.
There was a link he sent.
For the link was for what, sir?
No, it directed me to MOOC Camp Cohort 2024.
Okay. Before the end of the program, we'll rechat it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's go to American Corner, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, unmute and ask your question.
Good afternoon. My name is King Okene. First of all, I have to appreciate your program and also appreciate especially the presenter on his quote, having a big dream and starting with a small vision. It motivated me, and I think it will inspire a lot of people. But then my question is this: in our own Nigerian setting, how can one protect his intellectual property with what is happening generally, particularly where there are a lot of piracy in the system? When somebody creates a content, another one will have the opportunity because of large followership to publish it. Or whereas somebody created the content, invited people into it, and those people invited sabotage it. Is there any legal means to curtail this? Thank you.
So I'll answer this question in two ways. The first thing is that there are no exact. So there are legal measures you can take. However, you can only take legal measures when you yourself have copyrighted the idea, right? When you've copyrighted the idea, that's when you can take legal measures. And the challenge to that is, if, for example, you're a skit maker and you shoot skits every day, maybe 10 every day, how many do you want to copyright? Right? The only thing you can copyright at that point is maybe your brand name and maybe the logo, but you can't keep copyrighting every content you shoot every single day. So that's the major challenge we're facing as content creators. However, what you can do is two things. When you create your content, as you're editing it, you can put your name somewhere that if anybody chooses to remove that name, they cannot use the content again. So you see some content maybe by a skit maker, and then his name is in the middle at Lai Wasabi, is in the middle of the video like this. I'd be wondering, why did this person put his name here? It's so that if someone else wants to go and post it on their own page and they want to remove that name, by the time they remove that name, the video is no longer, you can't watch the video again. So what people usually do is they put their name maybe on the top or at the bottom. I can crop that out and repost it. Right? But when you put it by the side here, nobody can crop it out. If they crop it out, the video has paused. So that's just the only cheat code. Another thing is, we spoke about this last week. We had a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer, come speak about intellectual property, trademarking, and copywriting. So you can just go back and listen to that session. I'm sure she would answer it from a more legal perspective. But as a creative, this is how I choose to protect my own content.
Thank you very much. American Corner Calabar, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
So, my question is, we all know that the future of the world is guided by technology, and technology is changing every aspect of human civilization. So now I'm trying to develop a product, and with the knowledge of artificial intelligence, I am a bit limited. So I'm trying to get expertise from those that are inclined more than me. So how can I get to this people without them requesting for a sum of money to facilitate the project, like a paid amount?
Is there a way you can share a bit of what that idea is and what AI platform you're trying to use? Just a little, without giving out too much.
Okay, so I'm developing a project that helps languages to be converted within themselves.
In other languages, okay.
Yes, so
right.
The my knowledge base is limited, so I'm trying to get expertise from other individuals. And
So
then
if I
these guys
understand
are,
you right, you want to create, you want to translate content to other languages, and you want to use AI.
Yes.
Right. There are free AI tools that you can use to translate your content, and they will not charge you.
The idea behind it is to have a brand that stands out. There's no AI tool that helps you totally do what I have in mind to do.
So I may not be able to answer your question, to be very honest. But then we can exchange emails. I should have somebody who is in AI that can speak to you about it. So I'll give you my email address. Let's exchange emails. I'll get somebody who is in AI space that can speak to you about it.
You can chat your mail. Start your mail on the chat box. So AC Calabar, you can pick it up from there. Is that okay? All right. So let's go to Enugu window on America. Please unmute and ask your question. Okay. We can hear you.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you so much. I have some concern because it's always easy for people who have walked through the towns to come out and say some things and just as if it's easy. Please, can you tell us what it takes to take the first step and what it takes to persevere in force?
Mayowa, can you hear her clearly? Madam, maybe you can sit down. Maybe
she
you should
can
sit
type the
down and ask
question,
the question.
or if it can
Or
be
maybe
typed
you
in the
should
chat box.
try speaking now. Maybe we can hear you. Your network is fluctuating. Please chat the question. Chat it. Let them chat it in the chat box. We pick it up from there.
Okay, we'll do that. All right, we'll do that. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay,
So I see a question in the comment
box,
section,
all right.
in the chat box here.
Go ahead.
As a content creator, is it advisable to reach out to brands before using their products in your content, or using their products before reaching out to the brand? It's advisable to reach out to them first. Best practice, reach out to them first. But reach out to them with something tangible, right? Because you can imagine MTN receives 1 million applications every day from content creators. So why should I pick yours? So when you're sending out a proposal or an application, imagine yourself as the person looking at the application. Imagine yourself that you have looked at 900 applications already before seeing this one. So it means that at first glance, I should be interested in your project. The first thing I say about your project should be interesting. And then in 5 minutes, I can understand everything I need to know about this project. Do you get what I mean? So because if I'm sitting at the head office in MTN and you're sending me an application and I've looked at 900 documents, the moment I see your own and it's not clear in the first sentence, I just toss it away. Which is why it's always advisable that that big idea you have, create a smaller version of it, shoot a pilot episode of it, send that to the clients, let them see what this thing is, rather than just writing it as an application or sending them a cold email. I hope I helped answer that question.
So American Corner Podacod, they are still trying to type their question.
Okay.
So
I have one here again.
Enugu. All right.
Content creation, which has been most profitable platform for you, radio, social media platforms, or anyone in particular, right? Film has been more profitable to me. Yeah. Film, because radio, a lot of us live a fake life, quote and unquote. What I mean by that is, for a lot of radio and TV hosts, the brand doesn't pay that much, right? I can count how many OAPs or TV presenters earn 400 to 500K, and they're not up to 20 in the whole industry in Nigeria. They're not up to 20. So how most of us survive would be events. You're now hosting events, or maybe an artist is giving you money to promote their music and stuff like that. That's how most people make money. So which means if you want to do radio now, you must make sure that, most importantly, you have social capital. You are somebody on social media. If you're not a brand on social media, you can't make money as a radio host, because radio has also lost that element of celebrity. So before now, if you're listening to radio, the radio host or the TV host is like a celebrity. You're like, oh man, I love this person. But now that element is no longer there, if you get what I mean. Social media influencers have taken up that space. The attention has moved. So whether you're doing radio, you must have social capital in such a way where your social media is enough so that brands can even come to you on social media because you're on radio. So there has to be an intersection between the both of them for you to be able to say, okay, you want to live a comfortable life, being an on-air personality. However, being a filmmaker has given me the privilege to both invest and even get money back end. So, for example, I might collaborate on a project with a friend, and I may not give her money, right? I might just come and say, okay, I would consult as a producer on your project. And when the project is out and you sell the project, I get 10%. If I sell the project to Netflix for 100 million and I get my 10%, and I didn't even have to be on set, I'm just giving an instance, right? So, I think being a producer, film has money, right? When I was doing radio, it was more of passion. Remember, I said there are three motives: it's either money, recognition, or passion, or impact. Yeah. So you have to figure out which one you're doing and why. I think that helps.
So we have the question from Enugu. What does it require to take the first step, and how can a beginner persevere? Are there some ethical issues to be considered?
So this question is very broad, right? What does it take to take a first step? Take a first step, just start. To be very honest, if I know what you want to do for sure, I can tell you what to do first. But generally speaking, you want to start an idea, just start. There are ideas that I've written down in my journal for 2, 3 years, and I've already seen people starting doing them. So the longer you keep an idea, the more likely it is that somebody will start creating that thing. So don't wait until you have all it takes to create that idea. Like I said again, there's a smaller version of that idea. Create it. If you can't afford a camera yet, use your phone or look for somebody that has a camera. Sell your vision to them. Partner with the person. You don't have to be the one that owns the camera. Why? Why do you want to own the camera? Partner with somebody that owns a camera. Say, okay, you come, let's partner. Shoot. The content is my own. If the team make money, we share like this. Sign a document. You take 20%, I take 80%. Mind you, that's splitting formula is after you've removed the cost of production. And the cost of production includes your idea. That is not money. You have to value those things that is not money. Your uncle gave you their house to use and shoot the content. You must factor in the amount of that house into that content. So when you're splitting, remove how much you should have paid all those people. That's your own money because you used your foundation to get it. You get what I mean? So factor in all of these things before you now say, okay, this is what's left. Then we share it 60-20 or whatever you want to share. Another thing you mentioned is how do you persevere? So I think get a mentor, right? Get someone who is, so the mistake we make most times is we think that a mentor is somebody who is very big and popular. I think your mentor is the person who is doing what you want to do next. So for example, I don't need Tyler Perry to be my mentor as a filmmaker. My mentor is somebody that has shot a film on Netflix because I'm yet to shoot my own film on Netflix. So if I see somebody that has shot a film on Netflix, that person is my mentor. How did you shoot your first Netflix film? All the projects I've been on were other people's projects and I was just producing for them. It's now I want to shoot my own first film. Do you get? So somebody who has done it, that's my mentor. When I now do that one, I've shot my first Netflix film. My mentor has changed. I can get another mentor again. Maybe somebody that has shot a ₦1 billion project. That's how you grow, right? Because now I don't have access to Tyler Perry, but I have access to somebody in Ikota that has, or Jade Oshiberu, or Kemi Adetiba. I have access to these people. These people can be my mentor. Tell me how they did it, right? So there are, just to mention, there are 3 ways a mentor can lead you. A mentor can either lead you by holding your hand, and both of you are walking side by side. Person is telling you, is taking you to places like, see this person is my friend. He wants to do this too. Please help him. A mentor can lead you from behind and be pushing you. Say, just go, just go, just go. A mentor can carry you and be saying, just follow me. So either beside, behind, or in front. But just find somebody that can lead you, basically. Find a mentor. I can't remember the third thing you asked for, but I hope I've been able to help you. Most importantly, just start.
The last question is how are there some ethical issues to be considered?
Yeah, try not to do anything illegal. That's one. Try to also avoid controversies as a content creator. It's one thing people thrive on these days, but I don't advise it because you can't last on controversies. It means if somebody hasn't done, if Bobrisky has not done anything, you will not have content. You can't build the whole essence of creativity on Bobrisky. You can't build your whole essence of creativity on Nigerian police, right? Find essence in yourself. Try not to do controversial stuff because that's what everybody wants to do. Just wants to trend, just want to go viral. It doesn't work that way, right? But if people get to like you as a person, they will most likely come back to watch your content, right? So try not to do anything illegal and avoid anything controversial.
All right, thank you. So we go to Medjuguri. Unmute and ask your question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, but for the past 5 weeks, we have been talking about this content writing, and I've been following it up. I wanted to ask a question. What is the actual relationship between content writing and a drama?
Content and a drama.
Yes.
Content and a drama. So when you say drama, are you talking stage drama? or drama on TV?
On
Okay.
TV.
Okay, great. Content is anything anybody can consume. Just hold that thought. Content is anything anybody can consume that maybe has entertainment value, or is passing knowledge, or is passing an impact. Drama, on the other hand, whether it is staged or they decide to record it as a movie and put on TV, is also something anybody can consume anywhere. So the difference is just the module. So most time when we talk content, we're talking about digital content, maybe video or radio. That's what we say when we're talking about content, right? While drama, for you to consume drama, you have to probably go and sit down in a place where they are doing a stage play. That's still content as well. But this one, they are just doing it for you physically. You put on your TV and you're watching Papa Jasco. That's content, right? But it's drama. It's a drama type of content. Skits, all those short comedy is a comedy type of content. If you listen to radio, that person talking on radio is content too, but it's audio content. You can't see it. So the person is just talking, it's audio content. Yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Thank you.
So somebody from Makodi says, can a group be created where like minds can attend this program, where like minds that attended this program can still meet to assist each other? I completely agree. The power of creativity is in community. Yeah. As creatives, you need community. So let me give you a cheat code. Sometimes you see people drop a video on YouTube, and in 1 hour they have 1,000 views. Most of them are in groups, WhatsApp groups, where once they shoot the video, they'll just drop the link there, and everybody will just go there and watch it, whether it's sweet or not. And then before you know, you have 1,000 views. What happens is you've confused the algorithm. YouTube will think that people enjoy the video, so they'll start showing it to more people. Because that's how the algorithm works. If people are watching it, they'll believe that, oh, people are enjoying it, they'll show it to more people. But if nobody's watching it, they'll say people don't like this video and they'll not show it. So part of what community can do for you is to confuse the algorithm, to make the algorithm believe that, this video people like them, and then they keep sharing it. Another thing is it helps for collaboration. So for example, I'm in Lagos and I want to come to Maiduguri to do a shoot. I don't need to go and hire somebody again. I can just come to the WhatsApp group, say, guys, I'm in Maiduguri next week, Tuesday. Oh, please, I need somebody that can show me around. I need a good hotel. I'm bringing so person. And I need radio stations that we can interview the person. And somebody in Maiduguri will just jump on it and say, oh, yeah, sure, now, guy, let's do this together. Very seamlessly. So community is very important for creativity. Very, very important. So I think that's a good idea.
So I think we don't have any virtual hand raised. Does anybody have question in American Center, Lagos?
No, not at all. They are well.
Okay. American Corner Lekki?
We don't have any question, man.
Okay. So we'd like to appreciate you for your time today, Mayowa. Thank you so much for this program. We really appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that have joined. This program was organized to empower more young people by the US government. And just like Mr. Itayo said at the beginning of this program, we are hoping that majority of us will start doing something with YouTube and turn it to business. The normal regular programming on our American Spaces Nigeria still continues. In this new month, we'll be having employability webinar the last Monday of this month. It promises to be an exciting time. On the third Friday, we are going to have an alum conversation with an alum. It's going to be also a very wonderful program. We're going to have a speak with a diplomat on the last Friday of this month. We want to encourage each and every one of us to join in on the program. If you have any concern, you can reach out to the directors in your spaces so they can answer your questions. And if there's anything they need to get back to us on, they'll surely do that. Thank you so much. I can see Lekki's hand is up. You have something to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Your virtual hand is up. All right.
Yeah. So I don't know how this will be done, but I'm willing to. This is just a feedback. Give one person a free consultation. So I want to take you from your idea till you shoot your content. So, but just one person. I don't know how that person is going to be picked. So from you have your idea in your head, we'll walk through it together, people you need to speak to and all of that, till you have your idea, till you post at least the first episode of your content. If it's a short film, we'll do that together, but just one person.
Great. And I think Mayowa has dropped his email address. Is that a good place to contact you?
So I don't want to
Is
be
that
the
a good
person
place?
I don't want to be the one to pick the person. That's why I said I'm not sure how.
Okay.
Is there a way we figure out the best graduating students?
Okay.
Yeah, or somebody who is very punctual, the person who came first all the time to class, or just I don't know. It's tricky, but I don't want to be the person to pick because
Okay. But you
I
be
have my
the
people.
person to work with the person.
Yeah, Josephine, let me come here, Josephine.
All right. Go ahead, Daniel.
All right, Mayowa, thank you so much. It's actually been a very exciting event, especially having you on board. You've given us a very big task to select one person. If you look at the people sitting across the network of American species, they are actually ably qualified to benefit from this wonderful gesture you're offering. It's quite a very difficult one, but what we can do is we'll get back to you if we eventually find somebody, okay? We will speak among ourselves and we'll definitely get back to you on who we are going to select eventually. But we don't currently do not have anybody in mind, but it's quite a very difficult one. But we'll look at it we'll work with our spaces directors and we'll find somebody and send the person across to you. Thank you so much. Just over to you.
All right, Dan, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much, all our audience in American Spaces. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again sometime soon. Please try to implement all that you have learned. Take the first step. Do away with fear. Bye for now.